It's National Library Week, so let's head to our local library and grab some books to read. Hello, welcome back to Read and Roam. I'm your host, Kaylin, and today we are celebrating National Library Week with a reading vlog. We're gonna head out to the library, we're gonna check out some books, we're gonna read them throughout this vlog. So without further ado, let's get to it. And I'm back from the library with my haul. I have 3 physical books here that I'm going to go over, and I also am going to loan out an ebook. The first book that I'm going to be reading is Diary of the Wimpy Kid, Partypooper by Jeff Kinney, and this is the 20th book in this series. That's right, yep, 20th book. So I will be reading that. However, I do have to loan out a copy of an ebook of Hot Mess, which is the 19th book in the series, because I still haven't read that. So in order to read the 20th, I gotta catch up and read book number 19. And I think that's gonna be it for me for the Diary of the Wimpy Kid series. I'm going to be tapping out because the 21st installment comes out at the end of October. I feel like I may be done with this series at that point, but I am going to at least get caught up to the 20th book. The next book that I plan on reading is the Racc by Stephanie Cook and illustrated by Whitney Garter, one of my favorite illustrators ever. This is The Prince and the Pawper. This is the second book in this series trilogy. I was only aware that the 3rd book actually came out today. Didn't see it at the library, so I might have to go back and grab the 3rd book. But I'm excited to continue on with this series. And the last book that I picked up at the library, I wanted to pick something off the shelves that I've never heard of. Like, I haven't heard the title, I haven't heard of anything in the description, I wasn't gonna read the back or the flap of the book. I was just gonna go solely based off of what will the bookshelves at the library like call to me, or if their spine's pretty, but I ended up seeing this spine. The spine stuck out to me and I was like, oh my goodness, this little bear and this little like mole guy, they look absolutely adorable. And so I was like, you know what? This is the book then. I have never heard of this title, never heard of this author, never heard of anything. So I am picking up Into the Bewilderness by Gus Gordon. And I'm excited for this. And that is going to be it for my short and sweet little TBR pile. Definitely full of junior middle grade graphic novels. So I'm going to go outside and get some reading done real quick. The first book that I'm going to pick up in my TBR pile is going to be Into the Bewilderness by Gus Gordon. I'm going to pick this book up, I'm going to march outside, and I'm going to get a little bit of reading done. So come on, let's start reading. I'm back to Yap. I have a little bit of a reading update. So in the meantime, I ended up completing 2 books, and those were Into the Bewilderness and also Diary of the Wimpy Kid, Hot Mess. I also started, and I'm almost finished, so once I'm done yapping, I'm gonna finish this book, the Racc Pack, The Prince and the Pawper. Then I still have one more book to go, which is Diary of the Wimpy Kid, Partypooper. But in between this library reading vlog, Saturday was National Indie Bookstore Day, so I made my way over to my favorite indie bookstore. I grabbed myself some cold brew, I perused the shelves, and then this book stood out to me. It was sitting on the shelf exactly like this, and it's Strange Houses, the Chilling Japanese Mystery Sensation. And I was like, oh, I'm intrigued. And then we have this little map of a house, a little blueprint. And I picked the book up, and then I was like, oh, the flop is there. I'm already hooked. Then we have these little flaps on the inside too, and I was like, I think this might be the book for me. And then I saw that in the book we have some blueprints, and I was like, okay, there's blueprints throughout. It's kind of told in an interview style. You know what? Sign me up. This is gonna be the book that I'm purchasing for Indie Bookstore Day. So I purchased it. I went outside on the patio. I had my cup of coffee I was drinking. I ended up getting to page 57 in here. So it was a wonderful, successful morning for Indie Bookstore Day. Then I was like, you know what? I'm so close to another indie bookstore. I'm just gonna drive there real quick and check out what they have going on. I make my way over. I'm just perusing the shelves of the next indie bookstore, and there was a girl there who was at the other bookstore that I had just came from. And she was talking to one of the booksellers about how Libro FM has the golden ticket. And if you find it, you get a 12-month audiobook credit bundle. And someone had already found it there, but they hadn't found it at this store. And I was like, okay, let's play a game of hide and seek. Then it was this gal, myself, and then this other guy. We were all looking throughout the store for this golden ticket. And eventually, they were talking about how last year they hit it so well. It was in between calendar months, past calendar months, and nobody ended up finding it, so they had to do a raffle of some sort. And so this year they're like, oh yeah, it's gonna be easier to find, and it's not in something. And that's when the little light bulb went boing. It went off in my head, and I was like, if it isn't in something, it has to be between something. So then my theory was, I just need to start pulling in between each and every single book. And I went to the books that had these golden covers. I went to the popular romance section, and eventually I was like, okay, I'm not really finding it. Gave up. And as I'm walking out the door, I go back to the children's section, and if it was a snake, it would have bit me. It would have bit me several times because I was looking at a book in the same area. I was lifting up books that were in a stack next to it, and as I pulled these 2 children's books back, lo and behold, I heard something clink, and I was like, and I got the lucky golden ticket. Call me Charlie because I'm going to the chocolate factory. So yeah, I ended up winning the golden ticket, and now I can't wait to explore some audiobooks. So let me know in the comment section down below what your favorite audiobook is. I prefer full-fledged cast audiobooks. I want it to be a listening experience, like a movie in my ears. Let me know in the comment section down below what your favorite audiobooks are. But anyways, that is a little quick yap and update. I'm going to get some reading done here real quick. I have less than half of Prince and the Pawper. So gonna finish that, and then once I'm done with that, I'm gonna start Partypooper, and I should be done with everything tonight. And the next time you see me yap, I will be giving the star ratings and reviews of the books that I have read. And I'm back for a wrap-up and review of what I ended up doing. Instead of 4 books, I went and got the last Racc Pack volume. So I completed 5 books in today's reading vlog, all from my local library. So let's get into it. The first book that I completed was Into the Bewilderness by Gus Gordon, and this book is about 2 best friends. We have Lewis, who is an optimistic guitar-playing bear, and then we have Pablo, who's this little grumpy mole, and they spend their days living and wandering around in nature until one day when Lewis receives some tickets in the mail to a performance of The Weary Mermaid, and he has to travel to the big city. He takes Pablo with, and it's their adventure getting to the big city life. I ended up rating this book 3 out of 5 stars. I thought it was an average read. I did enjoy the illustrations. I loved the spreads as they were traveling to the bus stop. I really loved and enjoyed that. However, I don't know if this is written for the intended audience because this was in the kids section at my library, and I feel like it's geared a little bit more towards like YA or like adult maybe. And also I wish they would have spent more time in the big city. But yeah, overall an average read, which is why I got 3 out of 5 stars. Next up is Diary of a Wimpy Kid, book number 19 in the series Hot Mess by Jeff Kinney. And this installment starts off with everyone trying to steal Grandma's meatball recipe, which she says is just one ingredient, which is love. And eventually the whole family ends up on a family vacation trip together per the grandma's wishes. And what could go wrong with a family vacation where Greg's mom and all her sisters are under one roof? I ended up rating this also another 3 out of 5 stars. It was just an average read for me. I did think a few spots were kind of funny in the beginning with Greg and the meatball recipe situation. I also enjoyed the end, but the rest I'm like, oh my goodness, I cannot wait to get to book 20 and just like call it a day. I feel like these installments are also lacking Brother Manny and also Racc, the older brother. And also, what has happened to Greg's best friend, that Rowley guy? I feel like he is missing in action. So I just wish I could have seen like a couple more characters or had Greg interact with a few more characters as well. The next book that I finished was the Racc Pack, number 2, which was The Prince and the Pawper by Stephanie Cook and illustrated by Whitney Gardner. Every time I say this title in my head, I immediately think of the Barbie movie, The Princess and the Pauper, and I think of that one song. I'm just like you. You're just like me.
I'm just like you.
You are?
You're just like me. There's somewhere else we'd rather be.
The Binns family is back. We got Dusty, we got Riri, we got Scraps, and they're heading downtown to the Pet Expo where they end up meeting Dusty's doppelganger, Prince. And Prince the raccoon is social media famous. And then Dusty and Prince decide to swap places. And Prince gets to live the average raccoon life, and Dusty gets to live the life of glitz, glamour, and social media stardom. And once again, another 3 out of 5 star rating. I loved Whitney Gardner's illustrations. However, I wish it was like the first book where we had like an evil villain, because like the evil guy in the first book, I really enjoyed. This time around, there wasn't really an evil villain. It was just they switched spots, and then, you know, like, do you really want to stay like this forever? Do you want to be social media famous? Do you want to be a regular raccoon? So yeah, it was just an average read for me. I just wish there was a bad guy. Next up, I completed Diary of the Wimpy Kid, number 20, the Partypooper book. This was also written by Jeff Kinney. And in this installment in the series, Greg is throwing himself an over-the-top birthday for himself because his mom forgot about his birthday. And of course, with the birthday party planning, there is some chaos that comes day of the party. And once again, another 3 out of 5 star rating. I am so glad to be tapping out of this series. I loved and enjoyed it since I've been reading it, but it's just getting a little old for me now, so we are going to retire it. Maybe I'll come back and visit in the future, probably not for a while. I have a lot of books to get to in the meantime. This book also had some funny spots in it where we have these things called micro creatures, and they have a micro creatures app that you like look around for these little creatures. Essentially, these micro creatures, it's just like Pokemon. So we have like Pokemon Go going on. We have people hunting for these collector cards. We have scalpers in the book. And I found that part really enjoyable, but it was overall just an average read for me. And the last book that I picked up was the Racc Pack Volume 3, The Bins Break Free. Also by Stephanie Cook and illustrated by Whitney Gardner. And in this installment, the Bins family is breaking into the local art museum to gobble up all the snacks and food that they have to offer until they accidentally stop some art thieves. And they are now reigned as heroes. And while they are local heroes, this does come at a price, and they are dropped off into the local zoo where people can come by and wave and say hi, and they don't realize that they are stuck there until Beaverly tries to break them free. And the final rating for this reading vlog is a 3 out of 5 stars for the third book in this series. And as always, I love Whitney Gardner's illustrations. I'm glad we got to meet a new character, Beaverly. I also like that in the beginning of this book, we get a map to show you where everyone's at. We have the zoo, which we will end up at in the book. We have Wellbeing, JB's place, and then the den where the Bins family is located at. And then we also have Prince's condo from the last volume. So it's nice to get a map in the beginning of this book. And the biggest gripe that I have about this book is that it's 157 pages in total, which is the shortest out of all of them. I just wish there was a little bit more storytelling, a little bit more fleshed out. I would have liked to hang out with Beaverly a little bit more, and I feel like the beginning of the book could have been a little bit longer. The ending was just all right for me, but yeah, I feel like there is a pacing issue, and maybe that's because it's the shortest book in the series. I don't know. But yeah, it was just an average read for me. If there is a fourth book in the series, I will definitely be picking it up just to see where the story goes, because you know what? I'm invested in the Bins family. And anyways, that is going to be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching me read and review these 5 books that I got from the library to celebrate National Library Week. Let me know in the comment section down below, have you been to your local library recently, or what's the last thing that you checked out from the library? And anyways, that is going to be it for this video. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and I will see you next time for a new bookish video.